I'm Rose. I want to tell you my story and ask you for advice. Press like and let's get it on. I was raised by my grandmother. We loved each other, but were always short of money. The most expensive thing we owned was a noisy wreck that Grandma lovingly called Turtle. It might stall every 10 minutes, and the door breaks off sometimes, but this is my first car, and I love it. I didn't really think much about how poor we were until I went to school. Rose, are you wearing the clothes my parents gave to charity? Do you get your food from trash? You are trash. Ugh, spoiled brats. They didn't want to be my friends because I didn't have expensive gadgets or fashionable clothes. My grandma worked very hard to provide for me. So, that day, I swore that I would one day become rich and buy her a huge mansion. I sat down on the lawn to eat, but realized that I had forgotten my lunchbox at home. Damn it. But then, a girl sat down next to me. Those guys are so mean. Don't listen to them. Her name was Lena. She noticed that I had no lunch. I have a tuna sandwich. Let's share it and be friends. That's how we became best friends. We were inseparable and did everything together. One day, Lena told me that she was going to a camp for the whole summer. We were both miserable because we didn't want to part. But then, Lena promised that her parents would pay for me too. I was so happy that I immediately ran to pack my bags. Yahoo! However, on the day we were supposed to leave, it turned out that Lena had lied to me. I'm sorry. I know how much you've been looking forward to this trip. I didn't want to upset you. Never mind. Have fun for both of us. Of course I was upset, but I didn't want to mope all summer. So, I decided it was my chance to earn some money. I made and sold lemonade and let passersby admire the flowers in my grandma's garden for a small fee. Come closer, enjoy the beautiful view for just $1. By the end of the summer, my piggy bank was full. Soon enough, Lena came back from the camp. She looked sad. Oh, Rose, I met an amazing boy there. We were together every second. But then, he was suddenly taken home the day before we were supposed to leave, and we did not have enough time to exchange numbers. I only have this photo to remember him by. How could you be so upset because of some guy? It stung that Lena didn't even ask me how I spent the holidays. Several years went by. Lena still missed that boy. Can you imagine? I wonder what he looks like now. Stop talking nonsense. He probably doesn't even remember you. I was still obsessed with the idea of getting rich. I worked odd jobs and believed that one day I would become a millionaire and Grandma wouldn't have to work anymore. I came back home and saw Grandma looking at Turtle, which had finally broken. We had no money for expensive repairs or a new car. As a result, Grandma had to get up a couple of hours earlier than usual to get to work by bus. It was very hard for her, so I started looking for another part-time job to save up for a new car as soon as possible. But Grandma didn't want me to work. Rose, you should focus on studying well and getting into a good college. You could become anyone you want after that. Even the president? That's right, sweetie. Maybe she was right. I had to skip classes because of my job sometimes. I decided to ask my friend to study with me so that I could catch up with everyone. She quickly agreed, but for some reason, she didn't want me to come over. Let's study at school or at your place, okay? Sure, no problem. By the way, I have some cool news. I saw an ad about a mansion owner looking for a teenage assistant, called them, and got hired. I want to save up for a trip to Milan. Wow! I wanted to ask my friend to put in a good word for me, but I'd already promised Grandma I would focus on my studies. So, I just congratulated Lena. She was acting weird though. Whenever her parents called her, she would step away to talk to them, and she also refused to take pictures with me. Was she ashamed of being friends with someone poor? Her birthday was coming up. She gloomily told me that her parents had decided not to throw a party. However, I wanted to congratulate her anyway. I broke my piggy bank and bought her a makeup kit I'd long been dreaming about. I wanted to surprise her, so I climbed up a tree to her room's window with the gift and balloons. But then, I saw that there was a party inside. The guests were eating a cake and congratulating the birthday girl. Had Lena lied to me because she didn't want me to come? I felt gutted. Even the balloons burst from such a betrayal. I wanted to throw the gift through the window, but I couldn't afford that. So, I returned it to the store. The next day, I demanded an explanation from my friend. To my surprise, Lena lost her temper. Did you peek through the window? Rosa, you're nuts and obsessed with money. We had a big fight. Her words made my blood boil. I wanted to complain to my grandma in the evening, but she was so exhausted she fell asleep right in the chair. She had to leave for work much earlier than usual, and she didn't even have enough time to take care of her garden. I decided, to hell with studying. I had to earn enough money for a new car as soon as possible. The next day, instead of going to school, I went to the mansion Lena had told me about. Since she was faker than the Monopoly money, I decided to steal her part-time job. A prim butler opened the door for me. I told him we had talked on the phone, and he let me in. Wow, the mansion looked bigger on the inside. I wanted to live in a place like that. Hey, mister, what are my duties going to be? Didn't they tell you? I have memory problems. Please explain it one more time. The butler squinted at me incredulously and explained that a millionaire had bought the mansion for his son called Joe. He used to be a famous racer, but after getting injured, he decided to retire from the dangerous sport. Now, he was staying at home with a broken leg, but he would go to my school as soon as he recovered. Joe used to spend a lot of time practicing. He was always homeschooled, so he doesn't know anything about regular schools. He needs someone to keep him company while he's getting better, and then help him adapt to the new environment. I frowned. So they want me to entertain some rich guy like a freaking clown? Hell no! There were plenty of arrogant jerks at my school. I'd had it with them. But then the butler handed me the contract. Wow, I almost choked on air. That was a lot of zeros. I changed my mind about leaving. And then the guy of my dreams jumped out into the corridor on crutches. I literally forgot how to breathe. Somebody give me an ice bucket. He was too hot. Hi. Why are you drooling? God, Rose, pull yourself together. With a colossal effort, I quit staring at Joe and introduced myself. Phew, what a relief. He turned out to be friendly, and even though he was rich, he did not look down on me. I realized that I was in love. The butler went shopping, and we were left alone. The doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I saw Lena. You should have seen her face. She was stunned. Huh? Rose? What are you doing here? Well, I'm obsessed with money, right? So I decided to steal your job. I can't believe you did that! And I can't believe you betrayed our friendship and deceived me. At that moment, Joe called my name. I smugly informed Alina that the job was mine now and slammed the door in her face. I came to Joe every day after classes, told him about the curriculum, and explained how things at school worked. Wow, it sounds like going to school is awesome! I can't wait to get rid of the cast. Staying at home was boring him, so when I came, we played video games, watched movies, ate delicious snacks, and talked for hours. He told me about racing and his father's business in Japan. When I was an athlete, I traveled around the world a lot, but now I want to live quietly. I told him that I was working to buy my grandmother a car. That's so good of you! We had a great time, and I got paid for it. It was nuts! Lena was the only thing that ruined my mood. At school, she glared at me and gossiped behind my back. I didn't expect her to be so mean. One day, she even convinced our literature teacher to double-check my essay. Ugh, after all, she knew that I hadn't had enough time to write it because of work. However, I found a way out. I'm sorry, Mr. Francis, but I haven't written the essay, and I won't waste any more of my time on homework. I'm going to marry a millionaire because I don't want to work my whole life for pennies. The teacher was so surprised he even sat down. My classmates started giggling. Of course, I didn't really believe what I was saying. I just didn't want to be humiliated in front of the whole class and make Lena happy. Soon, they took off Joe's cast. That evening, I bought his favorite pineapple pizza on the way to his place. Hello, Jojo! Guess what I got? Joe looked kind of shy. He sighed and told me what was bothering him. You know, I'd like to be more than just a friend to you because I really like you, Rosa. Will you be my girlfriend? Oh, was I dreaming? The guy of my dreams asked me out! How could I say anything other than, yeah, of course! I imagined how envious my classmates would look after finding out that such a handsome and rich guy had fallen heads over heels in love with me. But then, my blood ran cold. Joe was an amazing guy, and a ton of girls would definitely pine for him at school. I was afraid that someone would steal my boyfriend. Rose, are you alright? You look so glum. Oh, I just, choked on a pineapple. You're hilarious. I didn't have any friends because I was too busy training. But thanks to you, I'm not lonely anymore. So, thank you. He thought for a while and pulled an old photo out of the drawer. Actually, I thought I met my soulmate when I was a kid. We met at a camp, but my dad took me home a day earlier than expected, and we lost touch. Joe handed me the photo, and I felt my mind go numb. It was a copy of the photo Lena had once showed me. So Joe was the boy she used to love? My heart dropped. If they met, they would definitely recognize each other and become an item. Oh no, what was I supposed to do? I decided to keep Joe on sick leave a bit longer until I came up with a better plan. He was lactose intolerant. The next morning, I came over so that we could go to school together, gave him a coffee, and said it was with coconut milk. Joe took a sip and his eyes bulged out. That's regular milk! I can't drink that! Oops, the barista must have messed up. Sorry. Joe ran to the bathroom. I knew he wouldn't be coming to school anytime soon. I felt guilty, but I didn't want to lose my boyfriend either. The next day, I pretended to have a high fever and asked Joe to stay with me. Lie down, I'll make you some tea. I kept coming up with excuses for a whole week, but soon I ran out of ideas. It was clear that I couldn't keep Joe at home forever. Could I keep Lena out of school then? I pretended to be a teacher and called Lena's parents. This is Mrs. Adams. All classes are canceled due to renovations. The day after that, I found out that Lena had a cold and would be staying at home for some time. That was exactly what I needed. To my horror, when Joe came to school, all the girls zeroed in on him at once. Wow, the new guy looks like a movie star. Damn, how could I make them stay away from him? I decided to spread silly rumors so that the girls would stay away from Joe. Did you know that the new guy has lice? If you come close to him, you might get them too, and then you'll have to shave your head. Really? Ew! My plan worked perfectly. I felt like a celebrity's bodyguard. Every time one of the girls tried to talk to Joe, I came up with something new. Attention, there's danger on the left. I sprayed Joe with perfume that smelled like cheese. This school is full of psychos. Everyone keeps shying away from me. I'm glad you're here, Rose. You're very special to me. Everything was going according to my plan. But soon, I started to feel guilty. I didn't like deceiving Joe, but I was so afraid of losing him. Soon, Lena returned to school and came up to me. Rose, I've been thinking. You were right, and I shouldn't have lied to you. The thing is, my parents decided that I should find friends with better connections and forbade me from talking to you. That's why I didn't invite you to my birthday party. But I'm not going to listen to them anymore. I'm sorry. Let's share this tuna sandwich and make up. Wow, her confession was like a slap in the face for me. How could Lena's parents tell her who to hang out with? I thought about it a little and decided to give my friend another chance because I missed her terribly. I'm so glad we made up. I realized that I had to be honest with Lena and Joe. They had been in love with each other since they were kids. So I gave up and told them the truth. I'm sorry. I knew everything but didn't want you to meet. You guys are made for each other. They were so happy to reunite that they didn't even get mad at me. You should have seen them. They were glowing, like some freaking Disney characters. I felt like the third wheel and left. Soon, Joe's father paid me for my work. It was good money, but I still didn't have enough to buy a new car. I saw my grandmother carefully watering her plants and had a great business idea. Granny's flowers were the most beautiful in town. I was sure a lot of people would want to buy them. I spent all the money I earned on advertising. My grandma was pleasantly surprised when the first orders started coming in. Most of the customers wanted the bouquets to be delivered to their homes, but we didn't have a car. I decided to use my bicycle instead. It took a lot of time and effort, but I didn't give up. One evening, when I came home, exhausted after delivering yet another order, I was about to leave my bike in the garage when I saw Joe doing something to our turtle. What are you up to? Well, I know you need a car. I was a racer and know how to do repairs, so I decided to help you. Now it's as good as new. You're my hero, Joe! Grandma was so grateful she treated Joe to a pie, and he told me that he talked to Lena, and they both realized they had nothing in common and were no longer in love with each other. So they had broken up. Could it be? Was I worried for nothing? Lena is nice, but I want to be with you. Wow, would I get my happy ending after all? I focused on my studies. Our flower business was doing well. I fell in love and made up with my friend. Or did I? One day, Lena suddenly came up to Joe and showed him a strange video. It turned out that she had filmed me when I was answering the teacher. I'm going to marry a millionaire because I don't want to work my whole life for pennies. See, she's a gold digger. I was afraid that Joe would believe her and be disappointed with me, but he just laughed because he realized that it was a joke. Lena, you could learn something from Rose. She knows how to achieve everything herself. That day, Lena came up to me and told me that her parents had made her do it. They were unhappy that their daughter had broken up with a rich guy and told her to get him back. That was the last time I screwed you over, I promise. Here's our friendship sandwich. Please forgive me. Oh, what should I do? Forgive her? Tell me in the comments down below.